Welcome to the Good Neighbors podcast. This is Shields, with your hosts, Brad Shields and Alex McKee.
Hi guys, we're back. We're at Gillespie's Cigar Lounge and Bar here in our local town. It's a great place.
Martinsville,
Indiana. So we're back with our president and my father, Brad. And
she calls me Mr. President at home.
I do all the time. It's awful. I don't think anybody calls you that.
We're working on it.
He actually...
I did have the superintendent, the old one here. We got in a little bit of a thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I said something like his first name was Sam. He goes, "It's Dr. Smith." I went, "You're a doctor?" Because I got my PhD. I went, "Well, then it's President Shields to you." True story. Not exactly in those words.
I believe
but
it, though. We actually, our new building got finished. We're 2 new CNC machines in. They're up and running. And the other day, actually, funny story, you were out hands-on. We have a lot of new employees who aren't quite familiar with everybody yet.
Right,
So please tell them a quick story about what happened on the floor.
I'm building the walls.
Mm-hmm, around the machines.
Yeah, with these beautiful big Lexan sheets. We'll have to do a video. We'll show what these look like. People can see it. Yeah, and one of the newer guys walked by and he's like, "Brad, I thought you were more of a coat and tie," which I'm not a coat and tie, but a stay in the office type of guy. And I was cutting sheet metal at the time. So it's loud as hell. I got the blade on backwards to cut it. And a couple of the more senior employees, one who was especially quiet, started MFing him like, you don't understand. That's not what this. Yeah, I like to work.
No, it was good though. And I think it's good that you're out there, but I think it shows a lot that we have people who don't quite know who you are or what we've done or where we all came from. So we've got some things in play to fix that. We'll talk about.
Danielle asked me one day in the office, she goes, "Have you ever coated a part?"
That's great.
Yeah.
So
but speaking of that, not coating, but if I'm a little antsy in my seat, I just walked through the woods 2 days ago. Out of nowhere, a dinosaur kicks me right in the behind. It's a Megasaurus.
Fair. I don't know what website you're looking these up or where you're finding these, or if you actually genuinely coming up with them.
No, there's a group. It's a group effort. It was like I was talking to a guy I met at the airport, went on an airplane, and we're waiting for our luggage. And all of a sudden, this woman passes out in the baggage carousel. She came around slowly.
Okay. You get one more.
I get one more?
Not right now. No. Okay.
Oh, Megasaurus.
So, to bring us back, first I want to talk about our new product release this month. It is the ASV Max Cab.
ASV Max Cab.
Max Cab. So I think it's one of their bigger skid steers. It is a formed window, which they kind of have both flat and formed.
New for ASV.
And we're going to talk quite a bit today about the importance of shape and forming when we dive into the meat today. But so this door is launched on our website. It's a good door. We've got our fitments. We've got our form fit, our approval. We understand it's not, it's not as popular as Cat or Bobcat or some of the other ones.
But many. I mean, they're a
niche,
a fairly niche, specialized type of skid loader, wheel loader.
But we like to diversify our offerings. We cover the major guys, but we also want to make sure we're covering everybody. So as we're still building our
I don't discriminate
offerings.
Between skid loaders.
No, we don't. So that's our newest window. Go check it out. If that's something you've got, we have all of our thicknesses to cover whatever your needs are. So, okay. What our main focus is I want to talk about today. Last month, we talked about our core values, how we establish new core values. Well, they're not new. We are defining them.
Yes, they're not new.
I want to really dive into, and I was a little selfish. I picked my favorite, which is integrity. I think it's one of the bigger ones.
I think if you have a favorite, that's not right.
No, it's probably not right. This is the one that I reference.
There are 3 pillars. Is one taller than the other?
No, I reference it more. It's been more of a focus.
I mean, then you'd have a main pillar and 2 sub-pillars.
Supporting pillars.
I don't agree. I think we have 3
No, we do. We have
pillars.
We have 3
like
equal
3
pillars.
equal branches of the government.
Oh, let's not open that can of worms.
Really?
We don't have the time today.
All right.
But okay, so favorite's
I
not
was
the right
at a
word.
political lunch yesterday with all the governor candidates.
Yes.
It was a good lunch.
Good. We can talk about that off camera. But okay, not my favorite. The one that I have referenced the most in the past year. And so when it comes to integrity, I really want to talk about what we mean when it is our core value. Whether
it's going to drive you nuts all day.
You're fine.
Smoke is right there.
That's fine.
I'll try to
covering our people, covering our product, covering the company's integrity.
If we had a guest audience, which we don't, we have
ask them what the definition of integrity is.
we have to start sending out invites to people. But if you just went to a high school class or a higher education class like at Purdue, or maybe not as higher education if it's like the IU School of Education.
Oh my gosh.
Which, by the way, my degree came through there.
You did, and we just love making friends.
Barely got out of. Oh my! I got all my testosterone, spine, and brains back after I left. Anyway,
this was the 80s.
It was the 80s. I still have great hair, but I had great hair then too. But integrity, if we went through a definition, and we probably should have looked it up, like being prepared. People focus the word integrity so much, I imagine most people assume it has to do solely with one's behavior.
Your actions, when your actions, your morals, where you stand when no one's watching, right? What do you do when your boss isn't looking? Those types of things. And it's actually a question that when I do interviews, I don't do all of them anymore. Just mid-level and up. And when I do an interview, I ask for their definition of integrity. I'm curious. And I get all kinds of answers.
I bet.
A majority of them fall in that realm about themselves. And so that opens a conversation of, that's part of it.
Well, I don't ask their definition of integrity. I say a good joke. And if they laugh genuinely, they have integrity.
Yeah.
If they fake laugh, they lack integrity and sense of humor. And I don't want them.
You're going to have no employees.
You know, Ebony barely passed because it took like 4 jokes till she laughed. And she said, "I'm sorry, I didn't know I was supposed to laugh in an interview." I said, "You about didn't get the job." Not true, Eb. Sorry. Go ahead.
So I want to focus, when people talk about that, they talk about themselves. So I want to discuss when we have that as a core value, we're obviously talking about it. It involves people.
Right. And before we get away from people and the word integrity, but it does. And part of integrity, again, they all mix together with intentionality and innovation. Maybe not so much innovation, but
intentionality is the glue between both of them.
Filling out your work order, or you're inputting your data in real time. Mm-hmm. You know, not waiting at the end of the day, okay, I formed 85 parts, and then going back through, and because that's not being intentional, but you're not being the integrity of how we want you to do it. So you're kind of cheating.
It's where you fall in the protocols.
Right. And, you know, it's not so much, oh my gosh, you got to your desk, 2 minutes after you clocked in because you talked too long. I don't find that's not an integrity thing. It's when, say, there's been too much socializing going on in the front office, and we've kind of tamped it down. And then you tell me you're on your phone because a customer just texted you and you're actually texting someone else. That's when integrity comes into play. It
does. It's the trust. There's a trust there that their word that they're giving you is true. But then there's also, like, if I'm on the phone with a customer, obviously I trust that our employees aren't going to lie to the customers. So one of the things that I've experienced in the past at other work environments and just meeting people is people don't like passing on negative news, or people don't like the ugly sides of a job that everybody has. There's not a perfect job out there, in my opinion. I think the higher you go, well, maybe yours is.
I have a perfect.
You're welcome. But at this
By the
point,
way, integrity, I have to maintain my integrity. I just realized I'm smoking a cigar with a red label. While there is some nice light blue in it,
don't like red. I know you don't
can't
like
have the red.
No,
Sorry, go ahead.
awful. When I have to trust that everybody on our team has the integrity that if we say, okay, say the lead time's 10 weeks. Well, customer's not happy with that. I've had experiences where
I'm not happy with 10 weeks.
Well, it's just an example.
Okay.
It's bad. It's a bad thing to pass on. That's a long time. So if that's the lead time given, there has to be integrity and trust there that the production's giving an honest answer, and that I trust that they're not going to then lie to the customer because the customer's upset. Oh, okay, maybe it'll be 8.
Well, you think they're pissed now. Wait till it's 10 when you told them 8. Then they're really going to.
Exactly.
Well, then
There's
that's
foresight.
being shitty, and we should lose them.
We should. And there's.
So that is integrity.
There's integrity there, and entrusting that, and entrusting the process. And then we look at integrity as in working within as a team. I think one of the biggest challenges we have internally is that team mentality, and we've come very, very far with it. But I think integrity has a lot to do with it. When integrity and trust are intertwined, you have to trust that your team members holding up their end of the they're rowing their portion of the boat, right? They're rowing in their seat at a proper speed. And that if you have something going on and you have to step out, that they're going to pick up your weight, and vice versa. Also with trusting and having the integrity that our heads of departments are all following the core values and instilling them within people, and that they're handling things properly. The bigger we get, the more our vision, my vision, what you see is all much of a bigger picture, which means we have less hands-on, less one-on-one with people. It is unfortunate.
It does.
It's the nature of it, and it actually makes me feel really weird. I'm not exactly comfortable with it yet, but having people in the right place who have those values where they can then instill them. And that's where our team's integrity, in my opinion, is really, really important. Where are their values? Where are their trust? Right. What is their vision the same?
Value, trust, and vision in team. And, where I was really disappointed when we had our basketball league and everybody on my team wouldn't pass me the ball. And I thought that's a real lack of integrity on their part, a real lack of vision, a real lack of teamwork. I'm open, I make my shots, and they wouldn't give me the ball. In fact, I went to use the bathroom, and I came back out, and they didn't even know I'd gone. So I fired them, and I got a new team. But integrity, while all that's very important, and you're absolutely accurate, and if we don't hire people with integrity, then we're kind of in trouble. Mm-hmm. And I'm not putting that on a shelf or discounting it, but the part of integrity that excites me more in the sense of our Shields line, what I focus on more is the integrity of our parts. Mm-hmm. And that sounds simple. Everybody thinks they've got parts with integrity out there, but I can go out and buy a set of tires that have integrity and a set of tires that don't. And I won't know it the first 10 miles, maybe the first 20 miles, but I'm going to know very quickly in a negative way that I bought a set of tires that lack the integrity of what those tires were supposed to do.
But here's the catch. With our windows, our customers, okay, tires are tires, and tires are really important, but you can feel the integrity. You can figure that out quickly. If they're figuring out our windows have an integrity, if there isn't any sort of issue, if something right. gets out, that is a life-threatening issue. And
it's usually too late. It's a zero sum.
So we don't have that. Some companies and manufacturers, if a pin is not working properly and the pin's integrity is questionable, that's not going to harm anybody.
Right. So the first integrity with our part is the sheet itself. Mm-hmm. And so we spend a great amount of time and energy and focus with our vendor, ensuring that they're meeting the standards that we have to have.
Yeah.
Then the next part
consistently. You consistently right. are with them.
Is our machining and forming. Mm-hmm. What people don't realize about polycarbonate, be it sheet or injection mold, whatever, there's stress. The pellets are put into a sheet. There's a lot of stress put in that sheet.
Mm-hmm.
The sheet alone has a lot of stress. Our process, all of our processes, but especially our forming, we take stress out. We relieve that stress. We make the polycarbonate happier in its new form state than it was in its last state. That is tremendous integrity, and that maintains the integrity properties of the polycarbonate or improves them. We have competitors, we have other people that when they put the form, the bend, the shape into the part, they are introducing stress in.
Stacking it on.
In fact, they're preloading energy in a negative way.
You know what it reminds me of? I'm sorry to cut you
Go
off.
ahead.
You just said this, and I've never thought of this before until now, and it's going to sound funny, but I thought about when I eat pizza.
Okay.
And I have tight jeans. I wear tight jeans. And I'm eating pizza. I feel like if it's our product, we're essentially unbuttoning our pants and relaxing and letting it all hang where it's supposed to.
Wow, that's
Like my belly's just hanging out there.
Not quite.
But
Well,
our competitors are cinching that belt even more, where it's even tighter and stressed and uncomfortable. And that if I was a piece of polycarbonate, I would much prefer to eat my pizza with sweatpants.
okay. How about this? I'll give you this one. Everybody can probably figure this out. Take a trim board. Take a 1x4 board.
Okay.
Make it 8 foot long.
Everybody eats pizza.
You're going to hold one end, and we're going to lock it in down, and I'm going to bend it. I'm going to take that, and I'm going to force it down into a clamp, and I'm going to hold it in that shape. Now, we all know we're scared shitless if that clamp lets go, because that board is coming up.
Mm-hmm.
There's all that loaded energy, that stress. Mm-hmm. The other way to do it is to go ahead. You could either cut kerfs in it so it goes in the shape. You could soak it and steam it and heat it. You know, actually form the wood. There's ways to get that wood into that shape and lessen the stress.
Mm-hmm.
That's just an example for people to get maybe in their eyes. We actually take the stress out. Can I say we're 100% stress free? No, because we have to machine it at the end. And I've done testing. We've had independent testers. We've had our vendor come in and test it, going, "Oh my gosh, I can't believe how much you improve the sheet's integrity."
So let's finish our process integrity-wise, and then I want to come back to circle. No, I'm not saying it. I want to come back and talk about flat versus curved, and I want to dial in on that. But finish our process. We form it. We take the stress out. It's stronger. It's better. We go through our coating. Coating integrity.
Coating integrity is, well, first off, it's impossible to visually see after it's out if it's coated properly. Is the primer on there? We won't know it till failure. Is the coating thick enough? Did we apply enough coating? We won't know till failure, or we have to do destructive testing.
And we do take to uphold that. Besides what the machinist find,
we do cross-hatching,
we do that on randomization.
We test, I'm going to say, we test our properties in process and post. But in the center of that window, we don't know. We have to rely on the integrity of both our team members, our process, our materials, our environmental controls, everything that's taken place.
Yep.
Because we've had windows where somebody's gone to lunch, they forgot to coat the inside of the outside, and all of a sudden we get this window and no one was able to check it. It got out.
Yeah, not anymore.
Yeah, it doesn't. But those things happen, and that's not necessarily a lack of integrity. To me, it's more of a lack of intentionality.
Yes.
But the integrity of the part with the coating is very critical, because if it lacks any integrity, we may not break. The safety hazard isn't there until you're going to get into scratching. You're going to get into
the visual.
You could be susceptible to chemicals, optics. So yeah, and then you go to the optics. Go back between the forming and this. The integrity of the window is to allow you to see as well as you could see in any other situation, given rake, angles, gauge, and so forth. You can't be getting nauseous. You can't be having bent lines where they should be straight. You are looking through a substrate. You are looking through light refracting at different levels. But as far as having distortion, where what you're looking at is distorted, the integrity of the window cannot have distortion.
No, that is, and our team knows like that is a foundation fundamental. Like that is level one.
Yes.
Must know, must have, must perform. So then we go back. Obviously, coding is not adding anymore. It is not changing our integrity or stress level. It is an add when it comes to our integrity, I think, because it protects our material.
It does protect it. Anytime you add a primer into anything, a primer's job is to grab one surface and another surface. So there is something there.
It's aggressive.
But in our curing process, the way we go about it, which is, as far as I know, unique. I say proprietary, but it's not in the big world. I don't believe many other people run the curing system we do. Mm-hmm. And that curing system in and of itself will relieve as much stress that could have been placed in there during the coating process.
Okay. Okay. So from there, it's handling. Obviously, is handling. A lot of handling with large parts.
And we spent a lot of time in how we handle. It used to be just get it from A to B.
No, handling's important.
Very important.
And we are very handle heavy because of the variety we make, the size we make, automation to make a wheel loader window. You would take a football field, build it.
Right. Oh, if all we did was 20,000 wheel loader windows a year, we could make. But yeah.
No, but we thrive in the mid to low volume, consistent production. Right. So from the handling, we go to machines.
Ooh, that dinosaur! He let me have it. Go ahead.
Or is it this? What was your trainer?
It was a Megasaurus.
It wasn't your trainer?
Go ahead.
So we go to machines. At machines, this is where there's a lot of machinists out there, a lot of machining, a lot of stuff like that. And real quick, we don't have you did most of our machining up until what, 2018,
probably
16, 17, around there.
I had some wonderful other engineers that worked with me, but I was over. I learned the hard way, and because of our time, I learned real quick that you can take all this great stuff, and at the end, you can screw the pooch. You can put a lot of stress back into it without you machine it. Mm-hmm. And there's a lot of people, and there was a cool TV show. I can't remember the guy in CNC. He had a whole TV show because he did faster and more, and he just, pushed everything to the brink.
The traditional manufacturing push.
Yeah, and that was cool. But the amount of stress he was introducing into those were metal parts and all that. And so, we had to look at, okay, we've got to find that space in the continuum between as fast as we can and Picasso.
Yep, and maintaining our quality and our promise.
Right. And so the machining isn't just, hey, we're going to go out, we're going to spend a couple $1 million, we're going to buy a bunch of big machines, and we're going to slap them on there, and let pneumatics and let everything else just do its job, and robots rule the world. No way they're going to golf, though, because part of golfing is social. So
golfing is just anger.
Anyway, my point is, we learned how to machine and put the minimum stress you're going to put some in, but the minimum you can. And so even in some of our products, especially our offshore boats and some of those that are just crazy, scary as far as handling, we'll take those back through another process to take stress out at the end. But you talked about flat and curved.
Yeah, I really want to hone in on. We do flat windows. We do a lot of flat windows because there's a lot of flat window applications out there.
Correct.
But where I get really frustrated in the industry is when someone thinks that they can take obviously there's a reason for forming glass. I imagine formed glass is stronger. I don't have this for sure, but is formed glass stronger than flat glass?
No, I wouldn't say so.
So then
maybe
the
a little bit
optics are probably better.
The optics are
so
better.
There's purpose for form.
Aesthetics.
Yes, aesthetics.
Okay,
it's
flat
much prettier.
Looks flat.
But if you look at it, right, so you've got two different kinds of windows in the world. You've got formed, you've got flat. Whatever the shape is, whatever the cut is, there's a reason, there is a form. And when you take a formed window especially a formed glass window, and you decide to throw a flat piece of polycarbonate onto a formed machine, you are you're degrading essentially
Wow.
that machine. And I want to talk about the why. Why is a formed? Because people, well, there's a flat option, there's a formed option. That formed option is going to be a couple $100 more expensive. What are the benefits of that?
Okay, well, and it's this. Some of my favorite players when I coached were my JV players.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so this is not besmirching my JV players.
There's
a difference between an all-state varsity player and a JV player who just wants to ride the bus. Okay, and that's what you're getting. If you're going to substitute a flat window for a curved window, you don't know what the hell you're doing. You're trying to make a quick buck, maybe.
You mean a curved into a flat?
A curved, yeah. You're I don't know. Can I say chicken shit? I probably
Sure,
can't.
it's our podcast.
But what it is, you're completely, like you said, you're breaking the integrity of that machine.
You're cheating.
So think about this. John Deere's got this beautiful 6000 series ag tractor,
Yep.
the nice big curved door window you come in and out, and some
Great
slap
optics.
junk monkey, slap junk.
Okay, yeah.
I can do something better than that. I can go to Home Depot. I can buy some polycarbonate. I can cut it flat and I can bolt the hell out of it and I can put it on there. And yes, you now have a polycarbonate door. And you look like your cousin's first car that his uncle, who thought he was a mechanic, was going to paint it in the garage, a good camo, and it looked like he had 3 colors of spray paint. And if that's what you want, here's my integrity. Buy it. If you want, there are times when I'm like, you know what? Hell with it. I'm going to smoke a piece of shit cigar. Okay, there's not. But some people do.
So looks wise, right? There is.
Oh, not just look wise, son. Look wise would be the easiest of it. Look wise is your paint job.
Yes.
But I'm talking about the integrity of it. You have now stress loaded that door. Let's just stay with John Deere for a minute.
That door will fail.
Well, it's going to crack first off. You got vibrations, harmonics, and it's not set to be on that cat.
Okay. So let's hone in on that. You're taking a piece that you're making your own, or a subpar manufacturer's trying to pump out as much flat sheet as they can, and they throw it on a machine that it's not built for.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so say they make a contraption to make it fit, right? So we pass by the double fitting, right? So then you're looking at just straight integrity of a proper formed window
Mm-hmm.
versus a flat window. Don't get me wrong, we make a lot of flat windows for flat applications.
Right.
But going from flat to curved.
Or curved to flat. We know what you mean.
Yes, sorry, curved to flat.
Well, here's
You're losing optics. You're losing strength.
and here's the thing. We want our customers, the integrity of the window is you're going to get rid of glass because of all of its inefficiencies,
Mm-hmm.
all of its liabilities,
Yep.
all of its crap. And you're going to put our window in. It's going to look the same in the sense of you're not going to be disappointed. If you like how it looked
Mm-hmm.
from the factory with the glass, you're going to love how it looks here.
Well, and just like what you said about we're taking stress out, that flat sheet has stress in it.
Absolutely. It's
At
been
that
extruded.
point.
I can put a flat sheet on the table at 50 degrees. Leave it there. Let's go to about 102 degrees. Arizona, Phoenix, 108 degrees today. And it's going to look like a piece of bacon or a piece of toast that's flipped up.
Mhm.
All that stress is in there. You take my flat window and look at it, you're not going to see it move. Now, there's movement in there because there has to be, but it's controlled because the stress is free.
Well, and everything right now, our flat windows replace flat glass. Our curved windows replace curved glass. We machined them to fit that glass fitting. We machined them to take out that stress, so we maintain integrity. We do the same type of machining with our flat stuff.
Mm-hmm.
We still maintain that integrity, but even our flat parts are engineered to make sure that they're not, the stress is there in the flat state. It's going to be.
We do the best we can. Your hand's a little tight right there because you're going flat to flat.
Flat.
And
And doing flat's cheaper. I get it. But
well, there's less process in it.
there is, and that's the only reason.
There's a cost to that. And I used to always say we're never going to do flat work, but there's a lot of flat replacement windows out there that we need to meet that need for our customers because they want the quality of everything else. We're going to go longer.
Well, we'll finish up a couple minutes. I want to wrap.
Okay.
I want to wrap this up, but I think we really need to hone in on a point of if something's built for a curved window, it should be a curved window. So no matter where we go with our lines and our products, we will always form a formed window that's meant to be formed.
Right, let me give you a story on this. So back in the day, I would say late 90s, early 2000s, I couldn't give you a real date. Let's just say 2000 to cut it off. The western states, the southern states, Texas in particular, OSHA had set out that the boom mowers, the tractors that mow the highway, the highways,
the DOT
boom
stuff.
mowers, between that mower and that operator had to have 3/8 polycarbonate. So one of the bigger makers of this, one of our better customers, fantastic customer, Alamo Industries, Alamo Group, but Alamo Industries in particular, started welding on the outside fender a sleeve, and they went to Home Depot or Lowe's Menards, I'm not plugging anybody, or maybe a local plastics vendor, and they got a flat sheet of 3/8, and they slid it, and they got this big arm, and they met the requirements of
the
OSHA.
standard, yeah, okay.
And it looked hideous. It looked cumbersome. It looked like this is dangerous. It looked dangerous, right? And with the welded frame, it had but I saw that, and I'm like, why don't we just make the window out of 3/8? And so we had another customer close to them in Texas, and my dad and I were down there, and we went and visited Alamo, and out of nowhere, they sent us a tractor. And they're like, do it. So we reverse engineered it. We started forming that right-hand door.
I remember going through seeing Papaw's hand drawings of the windows.
Yeah.
A lot of them.
And well, I tell you, I think we talked about that funny story. We tried to take pictures of our window with Terry driving around out front, and we couldn't get a picture. You can't see it. That was a fight. Oh, it was all day. So you got to draw it and put the highlights in there. But that, to me, is what the integrity of our shields is. Alamo was thankful because we solved the problem like they had as far as letter of the law and safety. But more so, the cab looked good. OEM. The cab looked great. Guys didn't feel like they were, they get honked at enough as they're mowing on the highway. It just became like, this is how a product should, this is the integrity of our cab. It goes to the integrity of their product, that we are going to fit like glass, and we're not going to be I'm going to be, Dr. Frankenstein trying to put, square pegs in a round hole. And so that's one of the things that really kicked off on our heavy equipment side, going, same stuff can be applied to every piece of equipment. And it, started to take off very quickly from there. And at first, I didn't go after any flat work at all.
There was a lot of form to go after.
Because there's a lot of form to go after. And so, and that was great. And today, we visited Alamo, a year or 2 years ago?
2 years ago.
Alamo's one of our better customers. And they've been great customers. And we've got some great customers. Diamond, we're doing the same thing with Diamond Mowers at the same time. And
their sister company.
Pardon
Tiger.
me?
And their sister company, Tiger.
And well, Alamo's sister company, Tiger. But like Diamond and Alamo, those guys realize the pride and integrity they have with the product you buy from them. And you could buy just the mower or the mulcher from them. But a lot of times they sell the Caterpillar.
Yeah, well, we saw they had 150 tractors just sitting in their yard ready to go through the line. So
when they sell that, they're selling that whole unit, and they want it to look like the customer expects, with all the performance advantages we offer. And I think it's real simple. And as I look at some of our competitors out there now trying to get away with a shortcut, fine. I know you guys get upset and pissed. I probably would have for your age, and I know I would have. but I'm not nearly as upset. And I'm like, okay, it's a big bus. Okay, and you guys can walk behind it. That's fine.
No. Okay. Well, I think we summarized really well. One of our core values is integrity, from the people to the company to the part to our word. It's vital for us. It's something we will never shy away from. It will always be up front and center in everything that we do. And if your machine calls for a formed window, buy a damn formed window.
Well, don't settle. Don't
buy
settle.
a damn formed window.
You know, and it's like I used to think cauliflower crust was settling, you know, but it's not. We're not talking cauliflower crust here.
No, we're talking safety.
We're talking
your machine. We're talking thousands of dollars.
Come on, we're talking one word.
Integrity.
Integrity. Speaking of that, Buddy and I was at a cigar lounge yesterday after the political rally, and he said, "What do you want to do? Let's play chess." So we're smoking a cigar, we're playing chess, and we decided to make it more interesting. So we stopped playing chess.
I did tell you had one more. There's your one. All right.
That was for your husband.
Thank you. Wrap it up. I want to hear your statement, your final word, and we'll be out of here.
Well,
guys.
you know, I think I've changed my final words, haven't I, as I come on?
Have you?
Yeah.
You're making money behind the windows?
No. My name is Shields.
Oh, this is true.
And I make windshields that you go to work to, stay on time, and you go home safe.
We'll see you next time.
Thank you for tuning in to the This is Shields podcast. To learn more about Shields and our commitment to windshields with performance-proven toughness, visit us at shieldswindshields.com. For any inquiries or to explore our range of products, give us a call at 1-800-554-7527. For quick assistance, you can also text us at 765-913-8121. Stop by our headquarters at 1000 Industrial Drive in Martinsville, Indiana, to experience firsthand the excellence we put into every product we make. For any further information or questions, feel free to send an email to info@shieldswindshields.com. We'd love to hear from you. Once again, thank you for tuning into this episode of the This is Shields podcast. Keep pushing the boundaries of performance and stay inspired.